Namaskar, good evening. You're watching The Urban Debate and I am Swati Joshi. Can justice be selective? Can the demand for accountability be restricted to just a select few? All these days, we heard the CJP, we heard the slogans by the protesters, we saw the placards, we showed you the outrage over police crackdown. But what many chose to ignore until today was the pain of the families of injured police personnel. Today, they've been forced to speak out, they've been forced to tell their stories, reveal their pain. Because of the narrative at play, and their kids are Gen Z too, young children of injured police personnel who were attacked by the aggressive mob when they were on duty. Listening to them.
हमारा था, हमने जब उनसे पूछा कि पापा ये कैसे हुआ तो उन्होंने बताया कि बेटा कोई बात नहीं, ड्यूटी के टाइम पर छोटी मोटी चोटें लगती रहती हैं, पर मतलब उनके सर पे 4 टाँके आए हुए थे जो कि छोटी मोटी चोट नहीं थी। वो रात हमारे लिए बहुत मुश्किल थी। और जब मैंने सोशल मीडिया खोल के देखा तो सोशल मीडिया पे मेरे ही पापा को क्रिमिनल बता रहे थे। और उसके अगले दिन ही जब मुझे पता चला कि जिन लोगों ने मेरे फादर पे अटैक किया था वो लोग सुप्रीम कोर्ट जा रहे हैं अपना क्राइम सॉल्व करने और उन्हीं के खिलाफ कंप्लेंट करने के लिए, सारे पुलिस वालों के खिलाफ कंप्लेंट करने के लिए मुझे बहुत बुरा लगा। और मुझे लगा कि मुझे भी जाना चाहिए अपने फादर की जस्टिस के लिए।
25 में अनप्रोवोक्ड उन्होंने मेरे पापा उनकी टीम के ऊपर पेल्टिंग स्टार्ट कर दी। उस टाइम मेरे पापा बिल्कुल भी प्रिपेयर नहीं थे, वो अपने सबऑर्डिनेट्स को ब्रीफ कर रहे थे। एंड व्हेन द पेल्टिंग स्टार्टेड, मेरे पापा अपने सीनियर ऑफिसर्स को लाइक एक सेफ प्लेस में सेक्लूड करने चले गए, बट एक स्टोन उनके हेड पे हिट कर गया एंड उनका सर फट गया और उन्हें इंजरी हो गई।
So there is a big debate now on police crackdown versus the attack on policemen. A group of retired police personnel has also come out in support of the injured cops, holding a press conference. The retired officers have backed the personnel injured during the recent protests and slammed political leaders for allegedly targeting the police force. They have questioned the criticism against police action and said that the force stands with its personnel who were injured while on duty.
जब गवर्नमेंट का देखिए सेटलमेंट हो गया है, प्रोटेस्टर से एक एग्रीमेंट बन चुका था, उसके बाद भी कई लोग 156, 173, 4 में कोर्ट्स में जा रहे हैं, कमिश्नर के खिलाफ कंप्लेंट दे रहे हैं, पार्लियामेंट स्ट्रीट में दे रहे हैं। तो ये एक तरह से ये एक डिमोरलाइजिंग इफेक्ट डालता है नीचे। क्या होती है पैलेट गन्स का, एक हवा बना दिया है पैलेट गन्स का। अरे भाई पैलेट गन्स क्या होती है ये आम जनता को नहीं पता, प्रेस को पता है, हमें पता है, इवन आपको भी नहीं पता होगा। पहले आप पढ़िए कि क्या है वो। तो वो एक बड़ा भ्रामक स्टेटमेंट जो है वो पब्लिक के पास गया, आम जनता के पास गया है कि भाई ये इस तरह से, और ये हम गृह मंत्री होम मिनिस्टर देते हैं जो सरासर गलत है।
When Rahul Gandhi, in fact, the leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, who has been crusading for the rights of Gen Z, was asked a question about the concerns raised by the families and children of the injured policemen, he chose to attack the messenger. Rahul Gandhi asked the reporter, BJP से हो क्या? Listen in.
घायल हुए थे, उनके परिवारों ने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस की।
भैया बीजेपी के हो क्या?
बीजेपी का जो पुलिस वाले की जो परिवार वाले उन्होंने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस की। घायल हुए थे, उनके परिवारों ने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस की।
भैया बीजेपी के हो क्या?
बीजेपी का जो पुलिस वाले की जो परिवार वाले उन्होंने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस की। घायल हुए थे, उनके परिवारों ने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस की।
भैया बीजेपी के हो क्या?
बीजेपी का जो पुलिस वाले की जो परिवार वाले उन्होंने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस की। घायल हुए थे, उनके परिवारों ने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस की।
भैया बीजेपी के हो क्या?
And it looks like taking cue from Rahul Gandhi, Mr. Imran Masood, Congress MP, made the line clear. Despite the demand for justice by young children of injured police personnel, MP Imran Masood said he has zero sympathy for the cops. Listen in.
इमरान भाई, राहुल गांधी से अभी पूछा गया कि जो दिल्ली पुलिस के परिवार वाले हैं वो प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस कर रहे हैं और क्या वो ये कह रहे हैं कि पार्लियामेंट में जो विपक्ष है हमारी बात भी तो उठाए, पुलिस वाले भी तो घायल हुए, उनके परिवार वाले कह रहे। राहुल गांधी ने सवाल पूछा, राहुल गांधी कह रहे हैं कि आप लोग क्या बीजेपी के आदमी हो? जर्नलिस्ट को ऐसा कह रहे हैं राहुल गांधी, जबकि पूछा वो जा रहा है जो पुलिस के परिवार वाले कह रहे हैं।
नहीं तो पुलिस के परिवार वाले कह रहे हैं पुलिस में नौकरी करने के लिए आए, राजनीति करने की कोशिश ना करें। बच्चों को गोली मारने का अधिकार नहीं है कि तुम गोली मारोगे सीधे बच्चों को।
अरे इमरान भाई, पुलिस वाले भी तो घायल हुए हैं इमरान जी।
तो गोली थोड़ी मारेंगे सीधे बच्चों को।
ये कह रहे हैं हमारे लिए भी बात करिए।
बच्चों को गोली नहीं मारेंगे सीधे।
हाँ।
बच्चों को गोली मारने के लिए पुलिस नहीं है।
हाँ।
पुलिस का काम पुलिसिंग करना है, पुलिसिंग करे।
तो आपको लगता है कि अगर उनकी मांग है कि उनको भी न्याय मिलना चाहिए जो पुलिस वाले
उनके साथ क्या, उनके साथ अन्याय क्या हुआ है? नौकरी
पीटा
कर,
गया है।
अरे नौकरी कर रहे हो, इसी काम की नौकरी मिल रही है, तनख्वाह इसी काम की मिलती है उन्हें।
Now let's take you through another aspect of the protest, the controversial part of it, where questions are being raised about the kind of language used against Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Some videos went viral which showed young protesters using filthy and abusive language to target the Prime Minister. The language used is crass, it's derogatory. One such protester facing legal action, facing an FIR, is Ruchika Singh, a 25-year-old who triggered outrage with her shocking remarks. But now the CJP has come out in support of this young woman. CJP spokesperson Saurabh Das says that while derogatory language cannot be justified, but use of criminal machinery is condemnable. Political war of words is intensifying over the protest. In fact, CJP founder Abhijit Dipke has also now made a serious allegation. Mr. Dipke claims that BJP-linked elements, BJP goons, according to him, were behind the attack on police personnel, and he alleges that this was all part of a larger conspiracy to derail the student protest.
This was done by the BJP goons. I have been saying since day one, since we started the protest, that the BJP will send its goons to create disruptions. The BJP will send its goons to harass police officers, which will be used to defame the movement, and that they have done exactly like they have done exactly that. I feel sorry for the police people that they were targeted by the same people. By the same people who were taking instructions from. This was all done by the BJP people, and we have sympathies with the police officers who were targeted in such manner.
There's another statement by Saurabh Das, spokesperson of the CJP, which has led to a fresh debate. Saurabh Das has suggested that negotiations should have been held with the Supreme Court instead of the government.
The Supreme Court order also says that FIRs can proceed with the investigation. We objected to that as well, and we continue to object. If the Supreme Court is the final authority, then the negotiations should have happened with the Supreme Court, not with the Government of India. Do the Government of India's words hold no meaning? If there's an understanding and agreement being reached between the people and the government and their government, does that hold no meaning? So the Supreme Court must also think, the Government of India must also think whether the final authority lies in the Supreme Court, and if that is the case, then we should be negotiating with the Supreme Court of India.
Let's open this up. Let's go across to our guests. We're joined by Jasmine Sandavalia, spokesperson of the BJP, SP Ved, former IPS officer and former DGP of Jammu and Kashmir. We have Pooja Mishra with us, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. Imran Ahmed Ali, lawyer and political analyst. Advocate Vandana Sinha, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. Thank you very much for joining us. So there are two sides to this debate. On one hand, of course, there's condemnation and outrage over the brutal crackdown on student protesters, with the opposition saying, and this question is to you, Jasmine Sandavalia, the opposition saying that brute force was used by the police on the directions of the Home Minister, on the directions of the government, because they wanted to crush dissent. That's one side of the debate. Please respond to that.
I would first of all like to remind the opposition, and especially Rahul Gandhi, because he does not have any administrative experience in his life. He's been an MP. He's never been a minister. I want to remind him that it is not the Home Minister who gives an order to come or crack down on any agitation, or it is the magistrate, the SDM, which passes an order to take action, and it is not the Home Minister's fault. Yes, the police comes under the Home Ministry, and the whole responsibility, moral duty lies with him. But there is a law and procedure which follows. On the other hand, I also want to say that injustice lost anywhere is lost everywhere. And I would definitely raise this issue that the police excesses did happen. I am a BJP spokesperson. I am saying that, but not to the extent that the boogie which is being created by the opposition, and the opposition should play a reasonable and a responsible role.
So you admit that there was excessive usage of force on the students?
Maybe one or two incidents, but it did not happen the way the parliament is being stalled and the way they are building up the case.
See, even if it has happened against one or two innocent individuals, even if it has happened against one or two innocent individuals, innocent student protesters, then that has to be condemned, and that action has to be called out. But let me also bring in the other side. Okay.
It has to be,
Okay.
and we condemn it.
You're in
very
agreement that it
strongly.
has to be called out?
The
Okay, there is no
Home
free
Minister
run.
has come down
All
very
right.
heavily.
I take your point.
The Prime Minister has come down very heavily
Okay.
on this.
I
and no
take your
one
point, ma'am.
justice.
Let me bring in Imran Ahmad Ali as well. All right, ma'am. Let me bring in Imran Ahmad Ali now. The other side of the debate, Imran Ahmad Ali. And today we had family members of the policemen who were injured. They came out in the press conference, said, who will talk about our pain, who will talk about the fact that our parents serving in the police department came under attack and severe attack. Why is no one talking about that? Why is there selective outrage? Why is no one talking about violence that was unleashed on the police personnel?
Swati ji, I want to set one record straight right at the beginning. I come from a police family, and Mr. Vaid will probably know both my grandfathers. My dada was Aftab Ahmed Ali, and he was also director for the National Police Academy, and my nana was in Haryana, he was Mr. S.A. Khan. So I would be the last person who's a critic of the armed forces or the police. But the BJP first needs to decide whether pellet guns were used or not. In Parliament, Jitendra Singh and on a conference, Sambit Patra say no pellet guns were used. However, Jasmine ji correctly admits that they were used, and many other people have also admitted it. On one side, you wish to trend with the Gen Z to come at night.
No, she spoke about excessive usage of force. I don't think she mentioned pellet gun.
Come late night.
Allow Mr. Ali to finish. Please, ma'am,
Okay, so
allow
first
Mr.
let
Ali
them
to finish.
decide
Then I'll
whether
come back
pellet
to you, ma'am, for a rebuttal.
So,
yeah.
Now saying there are three aspects that I want to deal with. First, saying that the Ministry of Home Affairs was not involved. RAF comes under CRPF. CRPF, the full form in itself, Central Reserve Police Force, would explain that it does not even need basic level of education to understand who the RAF is under the CRPF and who the CRPF is under. The second thing, if it was not the RAF, it would be the Delhi Police. The specific Article 239 AA sub-article 3A specifically says that the Delhi Legislative Assembly has 3 exclusions. However, the BJP cannot run to the rescue of this because they are the ones in Delhi also. However, the specific article says that the Assembly cannot legislate on 3 state-level subjects. Public order, land and police. Now, you explain to me, you say that an ACP gives the order. Okay, the ACP comes under Commissioner of Police. Commissioner of Police comes under the LG. LG comes under who? The MHA. Now you go to a third aspect. You say that there were anti-social elements there who fought these pellet guns. Come out and give a statement. Who's stopping you? I'll tell you another flip side. One day before the march, the Delhi police removes the metal detectors from the site. News Laundry does a specific report which states that the truck with stones was apprehended by the Delhi police 4 days in advance and has come surprisingly. Swati ji, you know, I know that this is a highly sensitive, high priority area. How does a stone during a time of protest, how does an accident, and the eco vehicle, the Maruti eco vehicle is the same vehicle that truck met with an accident
these questions have been raised in the Supreme Court as well. The matters are being raised, they've been mentioned in the Supreme Court as well. And thank you for explaining the hierarchy. But are you dodging my question? My question was on selective outrage. Do you agree with Mr. Imran Masood that he has zero sympathy for these policemen? ये तनख्वाह लेते हैं, salary draw करते हैं, इनका काम है ये. Is it their job to actually, be there in the front lines and be subjected to this kind of violence?
Okay, I would be the last person who would speak against the police because of my background. However, there are questions. The case, first the Delhi fact check, the Delhi police fact check that they did, utter lies. On one side, AIIMS and Safdarjung Hospital, in specific case summary state that the use of pellet guns, eyes, chest, arm, back, everywhere.
So you keep going back to pellet guns. But I'm asking you a very simple question. Why is it so difficult? No, one second, Mr. Ali, why is it so difficult to say that if the policemen also were attacked, then that's condemnable as well? One should look into that also. Why is it so difficult to say that?
Okay. Absolutely. I have never denied it. You have to go into it, but then also see who are responsible. Also see why the Delhi police filed the case summary of the use of pellet guns on the 22nd when they were used on the 20th.
3 attempts I have made to ask you this
I'm
question.
someone who wants
and
these
every
answers.
time you've taken me back to the usage of pellet guns. No, no. No, 1 second. Now 1 second. Let's go into the...
Okay, so...
No, 1 second. You're saying, let's investigate how did this happen. 1 second, sir. 1 second. Absolutely, you should raise that. You should absolutely raise that. Did anybody stop you from raising AK-47 or pellet guns? No. My simple question was, why is it so difficult today for the opposition leaders to come out and give one simple statement and say that the attack on the policemen was condemnable, it should not have happened? But let me take it back to Ms. Sandhawalia. Abhijit Dipke now says that these are BJP-linked people, BJP goons who unleashed violence on policemen. This was all part of a larger conspiracy to derail the protest. How do you respond to that, ma'am?
I totally disagree with the young leader that somebody like him should not be making a statement like that. The BJP has no rules. BJP has no intention of sending any goons to a protest site. We don't want the students to protest. So we have been very vocal, and I would bring it again. Like he was accusing me, I did not say that we use the pellet guns, and I want to on record say that I did not say that. We in the BJP have fundamentally agreed that yes, certain excesses did happen, and we stand committed on that, and we want to take action against the guilty. But please do not forget that you cannot deny that certain police officials were also hurt very badly. They are also Indian citizens, and they also come
and their families today held a press conference, and their families had to narrate the horror, the ordeal of what their parents were subjected to. Now let me go across to Mr. Vaid. Mr. Vaid, do you think once again, do you think that we as a society and in this particular incident have also failed the policemen? Yes, there are all sorts of claims, and there are visuals. There is a visual proof of how a woman is being slapped. There are visual proofs of how some protesters who were just trying to get out of a situation were trapped into it. And the use of AK-47, who can deny? There are visuals of that as well. But do you think that when a policeman, a serving officer is attacked, one should also take a pause and perhaps have a few thoughts for that officer and the family as well? If there were criminal elements, like how the Delhi police claims, there's a report that suggests that there were 2,000 plus people with criminal antecedents, they are being looked into.
Good evening, Swati. Good evening to all my co-panelists and your viewers. See, policemen are always at the receiving end. I have seen it during my career, both ruling party as well as opposition. I have been watching it for last many years, so that's not a surprise. But let's talk of law of the country. The policemen were there on duty, and they, Section 121 and 132 of the BNS very clearly states a public servant on duty, if is assaulted, it is a criminal offense. So I would say Dipke studies in USA, just tell him, do this with US. This is not acceptable anywhere in the world, in any reasonable country. So US में एक बार try करके देखना policeman को hit करके, what will happen? They will directly open fire and kill you there. If he wants to experience, let him experience in US. Number two, they had no permission to go to the parliament. And if policemen had not stopped, do you want a scene what you saw in Washington, D.C., where the Capitol Hill was stormed? And when whole hell would have broken in this country, and very same people who are now criticizing would have asked the government to resign because you have failed to stop the procession to enter the parliament. So policeman, if he acts, he is damned. If he doesn't act, he is damned. So that is the reality of. Now, as far as what I was watching Mr. Imran Masood, what a tragedy that a member of the parliament talks like this. Now he says policemen are public servants and they get paid for it. Now a doctor is paid for his duty, and an engineer is paid for his duty. I will tell Mr. Imran Khan next time just go and slap him. When an engineer comes to inspect your electricity bill, just slap him or hurt him and then see the consequences. So he should not be talking of all the people, a member of parliament. It doesn't matter parliament mein who talks what and who talks in. I am on nobody's side.
But Mr. Vaid, okay, but Mr. Vaid, the argument is that these were innocent student protesters. They were unarmed protesters. Should they be dealt with an iron fist?
So should they be allowed to enter the parliament and ransack the inside the parliament? Did they have the permission? So, and Delhi police says 200 out of 2,000 people are 2,800 people, 900 had criminal records. So what was the guarantee if they entered the parliament house and assaulted all these member parliaments there? Then what would have been consequences of the police commissioner and the whole government?
Okay. Pooja Mishra, come in. Pooja Mishra, come in on that.
Swati, good evening to you. Good evening to fellow panelists as well. The moment he said that should the student will be allowed to enter into the parliament, no, they shouldn't. They shouldn't be even protesting for a month. There shouldn't have been any hunger strike. There shouldn't have been any excesses of police enforcement. Why all those happened? Just because our government is incompetent. The moment you say that there was miscreant, there was criminal elements in the protest, then also our government is incompetent. The BJP government failed to communicate with the protester. The BJP government failed to stop the criminal element in the protest, and they also failed to manage the situation, and uses of excess happened. And right now also we heard this pellet gun, whether it was used or not. The director chief of CRPF, he has agreed. He acknowledged that yes, pump of pellet guns were used when this minor like water cannon and the tear gas.
Well, the police diary has a mention, ma'am. The police diary mentions pellet guns. It mentions electrical shells. It mentions non-electric shells. It mentions all of that. And there's a valid question that why did the Delhi police in the first attempt say through a tweet that no, it was not used, it was all fake news? They should have just referred to the general diary, looked at records.
Swati ji, they were fabricating. Even they were like the government planned to frame the protesters, the innocent protester. Even I would agree the miscreant were maybe planted by the government because the government was working in that direction only. The government never.
So you agree with Mr. Abhijit Dipke that they were funded by the government to attack the policemen?
It's an incompetent government. It can be funded by. How come there was a truck full of stones? I do agree with the
both Abhijit Dipke and you and whoever actually backs that comment will be asked to authenticate that, will be asked to provide a proof and substantiate that statement because it's a serious charge.
Swati ji, who won't be asked to authenticate? It's the BJP, it's the police. They lied and now they are mentioning it. They should be charged. Even government is responsible for everything.
Now since on the panel, ma'am, since on the panel Jasmine Sandhawalia is the only BJP spokesperson, we'll have to go to her and seek a response. Let's try and have a good, transparent, fair debate here. Jasmine Sandhawalia, you've heard the list of accusations, and the opposition, at least Pooja Mishra on the panel, believes that yes, it's quite possible that the criminal elements who infiltrated first of all is a failure of the government and the police, that they could not keep a check. Two, they could very well be funded by the BJP. Please respond.
It is so frivolous that somebody as responsible as Pooja Mishra is accusing the government that we as a political party put up the goons there to harass and beat the police personnel who were managing the protesting students who were marching to the parliament. I think it is a totally frivolous statement, and I don't believe in any such nonsense. I feel we have a very responsible government, and I have full faith in the police. I have full faith in the judiciary. Yes, the protesting students have a fundamental right to protest. It's a democracy in this country. They had every right to protest. They had every reason to protest. But to accuse the government, to accuse the BJP for something like this, is totally blasphemous.
Okay. You don't believe that statement. You're calling it frivolous. One second, ladies, one second. Let me bring in Advocate Vandana Sinha. Vandana Sinha, there's one more aspect, another layer. No, one second, ma'am. Advocate Vandana Sinha hasn't spoken yet. Ma'am, please, allow her to come in, and I'll come back to you for a rebuttal. You're the only BJP spokesperson. I know you need to respond to this. Advocate Vandana Sinha, there's one more aspect, which is of using derogatory language, abusive, filthy language against the Prime Minister. Now, most of the states have withdrawn cases. As far as Delhi government is concerned, they are saying, just like the Supreme Court ordered, we will not take any action against students, innocent protesters, but those with criminal past will not be given a long rope. Now, there are those who have, abused the Prime Minister. Their videos are doing the rounds. There is action being taken against them as well. CJP says, maximum you can do is go ahead with a civil or a criminal defamation. But why are you, ensuring that there's a stringent action against these individuals?
See, first of all, what I feel, this is the complete failure of government and government machineries. The way, because I just heard Mr. Ved, he was saying that on duty, the police officers cannot be beaten. I just wanted to show one small visuals. Mr. SP Singh, can you please get the camera in? Is it all the police officials are allowed
SP
to
Ved,
monitor?
ma'am. Can't see.
Sorry, Mr. Ved, yeah.
Huh.
You can see how
Go ahead.
How a female student was molested by a police officers. There is another side of the coin also. Everybody has seen that how the children have been beaten brutally by the police officers. क्या डंडा किसी बच्चे के private part में घुसाना वैध है? मैं ये पूछना चाहती हूँ. First of all, secondly, in protest, because in Supreme Court it was also clear that excess police officers were utilized. Pellet guns, AK-47, everything has been used. One student has lost the eyesight. It is justified by the government? Third, our God, I mean, like the Amit Shah is refused to take the accountability for the law and order of this country. As Madam Jasmine was saying that it is not his duty, then Madam, whose duty is it? Whose duty is it? It is constitutional duty. It is not rhetorical.
No, she didn't say it's not his duty.
So even, Madam,
one second. Just to play the devil's advocate, to play the devil's advocate, ma'am, not even, not just Mr. SP, where nobody, including on this panel or anywhere else, will ever justify what you're talking about, molesting a woman there in the protest or, beating them up without any mistake or a crime. In fact, terrorizing any innocent individual is not acceptable. Nobody is going to justify that. Now, what the policemen and their family, I'm not even bringing the BJP here. The policemen and their family are saying not even one word of condemnation against them being attacked. Why not?
See, this is what happened because when this thing had happened, because this is what every time we are calling that excess force. Why the excess force has been given in the protesters? Why the excess force? Why the AK-47?
No, are you justifying?
Why the pellet guns?
Are you justifying, ma'am? Just like how you can't justify, excessive usage of force on students, ma'am, one cannot justify this violent attack on the policemen as well. Can you justify that?
So even in the press conference, it was said by the government that all the FIRs will be withdrawn. What happened? Again, there is no say of the government now. Now the government is again registered an FIR against Noida girl. Yes, of course, the civil defamation can be filed against her. That means that the government is again betrayed the protester or the student of this country as usual.
So will you call it free speech? Will you call it free speech that it's allowed, it's okay to use derogatory language and filth and abuse and all sorts of threats and intimidation in the name of free speech?
Why there is no action against Kangana Ranaut, calling the youth as a gutter generation? So BJP is free everything. BJP has all the fundamental right to freedom of speech and expressions. But if the student is telling something,
anyone, I'm sure, can move ahead with filing a case against Kangana Ranaut.
So
anyone can move ahead, and you're a lawyer yourself, you're an advocate yourself, you know that. But let me bring in Mr. Ved. Mr. Ved wants to come in, and then Jasmine, you can come in and respond to the allegations. But Mr. Ved, the point that Advocate Vandana Sinha and others are making is that, you promised us, I mean the government, you promised that you're going to take back all these cases, and now you are filing FIRs against individuals who use derogatory language and filth and abuse against the Prime Minister. they are saying this is a way to crush dissent. You can go ahead with civil or criminal defamation. But Saurabh Das says this is, you're using criminal machinery against them. That's condemnable. The government is ensuring that these people do not step out of their homes the next time. This is to terrorize these people by using facial recognition system, by now filing these FIRs. You're saying to the youth of the country that next time if you step out and take part in the protest, listen, this is going to happen to you. Mr. Ved.
Swati ji, I was listening to Bandhana. No one is defending if there is any excesses by police, and I think Honorable Supreme Court has already taken a view about it, and it's constituting a commission, independent commission, which will go into it. If anybody has done something with any lady, he will be taken to task, and we have a provision how to proceed against that policeman. And I'm sure Delhi police and RAF will do that, but after the report of the commission. Let it see, because it will be independent, because you have different versions from all sides, and camera will show, no one can lie. As far as your question is concerned, see, police, there is no blanket, amnesty for that. आगे भी कुछ नहीं होगा, पीछे भी कुछ नहीं होगा, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता. Government, I was listening to, what is his name, the spokesperson of this new party, Cockroach Party, that अगर Supreme Court final decision करने वाली है, तो हम Supreme Court से negotiate. अरे भाई, थोड़ा कानून तो पढ़ लो. Supreme Court कभी किसी से negotiation करता है भाई? सामने lawyer भी बैठी हैं. ये तो गवर्नमेंट के काम होते हैं, और Supreme Court is stating the legal position, and it will go, this country will be governed by law, not by anarchy, not by lawlessness. That is not how you run the, you please contest the election, form the government, you frame the laws, and then country will run according to that.
Okay, Imran wants to come in. Imran, Mr. Ved also says that the policemen have used excessive force, then it is condemnable, and it also demands action. Action should be taken against these individuals. So why does the opposition hesitate? Also, do go ahead with what you wanted to say.
What I wanted to say is that yes, absolutely, Mr. Ved is a fair policeman. He says that if there have been excesses, and which rightly so, which shall be proven in a court of law. My only problem is that on one side you try to justify the use of force by saying that they were hard-earned criminals. There were 2,000 approximately, what I heard from your number. However, this is that axe on your own foot. I'll tell you why. Because if a facial recognition is used in our very own parliament, 46% of our members of parliament would not be able to enter, because 251 or 543 have criminal cases, out of which 170 have serious criminal cases like crimes against women, rape, kidnapping, murder. So our parliament will not be able to function because 46% of it will be out, and mind you, 27 of these are convicted. And I'm not even saying BJP, Congress, I'm saying across the board out of the entire 543. I was told, and rightly so, if someone criticizes the police, I say yes, it is a very shameful comment. However, what a member of parliament, and I would really implore Jasmine ji to call out Kangana Ranaut, who has said that this entire generation, and mind you, this is a sizable population that will vote in 2029, you called them gutter generation, you called them puke inducing, you body shamed them, you talked about some girls who are so ugly, you talked about endless body counts, you said this generation has drugs and drinking. So you generalized against a member of your press and a very senior editor. She made a comment that I do not even wish to speak out on national television, because this would actually, give her that fuel which she's somehow trying to light the entire Generation Z on. What I want to ask today is a different question. Today, when there are questions of the excesses by the police, and specifically proven under the Ministry of Home, why is the Home Minister missing in Parliament? So I want Jasmine ji to answer two things. Was Kangana Ranaut correct in what she said against the entire generation and generalizing? And mind you, she talks about Hindu women. And why is the Home Minister missing from Parliament? Just two questions.
And two questions. Also, Imran, I'm sure you know, when an MP is convicted, they no more continue to go inside the parliament. They lose their seat. They are disqualified. Let me bring in Jasmine now. Respond to the two questions. Do you condemn Kangana Ranaut, and why isn't the Home Minister coming coming to the House and responding to the opposition's query?
Ms. Joshi, I would like to say that, first of all, that law is a reason. It is not a passion. You have repeatedly asked, like a very good anchor, to the opposition that do they condemn action against the brutalities which happened against the police officials. All three of them tippy-toed around it and never answered. I, as a BJP spokesperson, admitted in the first go that yes, excess has happened. It is very unfortunate. It is very sad. And we also should not deny and be mophoic that excesses against the police officials also happened. After all, law is same in this country. Young, enterprising children came out, protested. They have a right, I again say, they have a right in a democracy to protest. But to accuse everything on the government is also very wrong. I again say that when Mr. Rahul Gandhi, a very mature...
But ma'am, are you dodging the question asked by Imran? Because he's asking you for your reaction on Kangana Ranaut. If children who use derogatory language are facing action...
Ask him to, you have asked him repeatedly that does he condone that policemen were beaten? Did he answer that? Please. Ask him, did he answer that?
I condone it.
And then will you answer his questions?
If genuinely
So he says he condones it.
Yes. If genuinely a protester, I condone it. 100% I condone it. Now please go ahead and condone what Kangana Ranaut said.
You condone that an action that the police were beaten? Hello?
Yes. I am from a police background. Why would I not do it? My grandfather
condemning. Are you condemning it? Imran, are you condemning
it or are you condoning
I condone. Yes, I condemn it.
No, condone or condemn?
I condemn it. I say that if a student condemn.
No, you said condone, so we all got a little confused.
Anyone beating a policeman on duty. I condemn a policeman being beaten on duty.
Okay, clear stand taken by Imran.
However, you have to go in and also... Yes, and two answers, please. Two answers.
Okay, respond now. Okay, respond. Yeah.
I'll answer.
I didn't get that.
Kangana Ranaut, what she has said as a woman, as an Indian citizen, I think she has gone way ahead and it should not have been said. This is my personal opinion, and to a large extent, my party will agree with that. These are her very personal opinion. The party, I don't think so, stands by what she's saying. She cannot patronize Hindu women like this. She cannot come down like this. Our party believes in a very different system.
And the second question, ma'am.
Second question also, please.
The second question, ma'am, which is about the Home Minister.
The Home Minister was in Parliament recently. He was there yesterday debating with Rahul Gandhi. So where is he running away? He's not running away anywhere. Mr. Amit Shah is not running anywhere. He is standing there and giving a speech.
No, they're seeking a response from the Home Minister. They want the Home Minister to take part in this discussion of using... Okay, one second. That's what I'm telling her. They want... Okay, I'm doing that, Imran. They want the Home Minister to be present inside the House and to debate and discuss and respond to questions of excessive usage of force and police brutality on the students. The allegation is that the government is running away from that particular discussion. Pooja also wants to come in. Then Jasmine, you can rebut. Let Pooja also come in.
Swati already said that opposition wants the Home Minister to be answerable and accountable that what happened during the protest, the excess use of police force. And I have a problem when Bedji said that if you want to form a government, contest the election to the spokesperson of CJP movement. That was a moment. If now Jain Alphas are protesting, so you will ask them why you are protesting. Form a government, compete an election, then form a law, and you don't have the right to protest. That is not how a country runs, and the India definitely not. We are a secular country. We are a Republican form of government.
But then, ma'am, let me ask you a counter question. Because inside the House and outside as well, The BJP MPs, the NDA MPs have cited a long list of paper leaks and other irregularities that have happened in the opposition ruled states. They're saying, why is there no outrage over there, and why are resignations of those? I'm playing the devil's advocate here. Why aren't resignations of those education ministers being demanded? They're also highlighting what happened in Karnataka and Kerala when the students protested there, or where other protests happened. So when opposition ruled states, use excessive force, or there's high-handedness, there's no condemnation. You only notice BJP, you only notice the center.
Swati, whose government, whosoever government is there, if there is a paper leak, there are irregularities, the government need to be accountable. The education minister need to be accountable. We agree with that, no matter whether it is Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, or Haryana, or Rajasthan, or Madhya Pradesh. We don't differentiate them. But one more thing, I want to ask this spokesperson of BJP, will they educate Kangana Ranaut? She has been saying this kind of things when the farmers were protesting. She just made an expose saying that they come 100 रुपए में आते protest करते हैं. And then again she said that कि भारत तो जो है 2014 में आजाद हुआ है, and now she had made this,
Ma'am, that's a separate debate because now that's a separate debate because there again will come out a long list of controversial statements that have been given by political leaders, whether they are MLAs, MLCs, or MPs across party lines. So that is a completely different debate. That will demand a completely different debate on the controversial statements and whether or not their respective parties have acted against them. Let me bring in Vandana Sinha. But before I go across to her, Pooja, do you also condemn? Will you take a position? Do you condemn the violence against policemen, the attack on them? Will you take a position on that? Yes or no?
Swati, when our student was labeled as urban Naxals, foreign funded, opposition funded, so and so. So at that time, when the students were protesting peacefully for 20 days, why did not the government came and started negotiating with them? Why, when Wangchuk was there on the hunger strike, why government did not come and started negotiating with them? When on 20th of July...
that's interesting that you mentioned Mr. Sonam Wangchuk. That's interesting. That's interesting, Vandana, because Rahul Gandhi also very conveniently forgot, and Imran, I think he wants to come in. Imran, I know you want to come in the moment I mentioned Rahul Gandhi, but Vandana, Rahul Gandhi also forgot about Mr. Sonam Wangchuk. Later on, when the protest and the crackdown happened, it all intensified. There was a dharna outside the Prime Minister's residence. Imran Masood, in fact, interestingly said, ये सोनम वांगचुक की कोई डील हुई है क्या गवर्नमेंट के साथ?
Right?
Vandana.
Yeah. So when
Vandana,
since day one, since day one, we were with the students, right? We were with them for the cause. So the day one when the Rahul Gandhi started a separate agitation in front of the PM house, we said so that either if he really wanted to, just want to support the student, they would have come to the Jantar Mantar and visited them. But unfortunately, he also started a separate agitation or wanted to hijack the protest or whatsoever, because this is not our stand. But from the day when we started with the cause, but my second question is from the Jasmine ma'am. Jasmine ma'am, I just wanted to ask you very conveniently she said, like she's not agreeing with the comments whatever have been made by the Kangana Ranaut. So I have a very simple question from her. Being a female ma'am, maybe you must have some Gen Z at your home also, maybe children, maybe brother or sister, nephew. So
ma'am, she's already condemned. Ma'am, she's already condemned. On an individual level, she's already condemned what Kangana Ranaut said. She said she believes her party is going to...
I'm just asking because she's here for the party, but she said like she's personally she's saying she's personally condemned. But I just wanted, so being a female, whether she's going to register any complaint against her, if she really feel that it was really derogatory and it should not have been done.
Why should that onus only be on her? You are an advocate, you very well know whoever thinks that they want to go ahead and...
We already did it. We did it.
Okay, you've already done that.
I know my duty. Exactly.
You've already done that.
Yes. So everything will come out.
Okay, you've already done that.
Everything
All
will
right.
be-
Now, on your question of condemnation, because she's already condemned, I'm not going to seek a response once again on the same question that Imran has already asked. 30 seconds I can give to Imran and 30 seconds to Jasmine. I have to wrap up. Imran, quickly, 30 seconds only, please.
First, my compliments to Jasmine ji for being so fair and completely going against what her member of parliament said. So my entire compliments. Today, the questions we need to ask ourselves is one, and I would like to say that I am glad that neither the Congress, neither the AAP went in support, because this was a student-led agitation protest, and that is why they were successful. Political parties come and go, they use it for their political mileage 100%. Everyone thought, let me get a piece of this pie. However, the students led this protest. They were the ones who had to create a situation where the education minister had to owe up for the responsibility of his ministry. My only question that I would part with today there is photographic and videographic evidence of men in private clothes with batons beating public. Do these consist, and will the state proceed against these people also? That is my real question tonight.
Okay, but once again, I think the response would be, will you also ask, what about those who attacked the policemen? Shouldn't an action be taken against them? Shouldn't they be identified, and legal proceedings should be initiated against them? Jasmine, very quickly, 30 seconds, I have to wrap up, please, ma'am.
Martin King Luther said a very famous quote saying that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And I end on that justice is not just for one individual or one set of people. Justice is for everybody. That includes the police also.
Absolutely. Kudos to the panelists. In fact, everyone has taken a very clear stand, clear positions taken on the panel tonight. But most importantly, whether it's the government or the opposition, it should not just remain lip service. It needs to translate into action. We need to see action for things to change. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us on the broadcast. Thank you.